Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're just going to let everybody join. We've a good few in the waiting room at the moment. So you're very welcome to today's UCD Masters Week webinar. We are going to be delivering the webinar for our top graduate nursing and midwifery programs here in UCD. And myself and Anne and my colleagues here, Nicola and Deirdre, and we have a few other colleagues who will be joining us, and some with pre-recorded sessions as well for today. So we're delighted to have everybody joining, and we really hope that you get something out of this webinar. This will be an overview really of our programs, our application process, and this is for those who are interested in starting programs next year, whether that would be a January start program or September. So without further ado, my name is Emily Donohoe. I'm kind of here helping Anne in the background, but I'll be popping in and out of the webinar. We do invite everybody to use the Q&A function if you can for any questions. And my lovely colleague here, Nicola, will be helping answer questions there as we go along. Yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Dr. Anne Donohoe.
Thank you very much, Emily, and thank you for being with us today. We're delighted that there's 17 people on the call, and hopefully some more people will join. My name is Anne Donohoe, and I'm the Associate Dean for Third Graduate Studies. And today I'm going to focus on two aspects, really. I'm going to provide a brief overview of UCD, what the University College Dublin stands for, and how we rank nationally and internationally. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about the School of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Systems, and what we actually offer. I'm going to focus particularly on the Thought Graduate Suite, the Thought Graduate programs and diplomas and certificates that we offer. And I'm very conscious that we have a mixed audience here. We may have people who have already studied with us. Hopefully, some of our alumni are on the call. That would be wonderful. Or we may have people who haven't studied with us in UCD at all. So you're all very welcome. And at the end, I'll summarize, because I'm going to be giving you quite a lot of information, but I'm going to summarize and tell you exactly what you need to know, the unique take-home message that you need from my presentation. So thank you very much. Emily is sharing the slides for me today. I had a little bit of a technical problem there earlier, so thank you very much, Emily. So we'll move to our first slide. So as you all perhaps know, UCD was opened on the 3rd of November in 1854, and it opened to a grand total of 17 students from 2 countries. Now we have 38,000 students from 152 countries. So once you join UCD, you join an immense academic family that stretches right across the globe. We have 6 colleges, we have 37 associated schools, and multiple research institutes and centres. And the university is very much a research intensive university, as is our school as well. And I'll come to that in a moment. But UCD is the high ranking global university. And if you choose to join us, that's what you're joining. A very well established, well thought of, highly ranked global institution. Our motto is Ad Astra Codum Nafenia, which means to the stars, justice and equality. And we very much offer a wide gamut of educational opportunities, and there is one for everyone in the audience, as we would say. If we just move to our next slide, Emily, thank you. So just again, just for in terms of the stats now, we're the first choice for Irish school leavers in terms of a university, in terms of universities nationally. We've a 94% first year retention rate, which is a real barometer of quality. And I know that may not be of direct relevance to the people on this call, on this webinar, but it is a real barometer of quality that we offer programs that are interesting and that can sustain our student population. We have 450 study abroad opportunities, and we're ranked in the top 50 world rankings in 4 subjects. And the School of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Systems is ranked in the top 50 of schools of nursing in the world rankings. And that's really, really important for you to know. Other information there, UCD is ranked within the top 1% of higher education institutions worldwide. It's number 1 for student supports, and that's particularly important for our thought graduate audience. People thinking of doing a program with us particularly up to master's level. A lot of student supports there in terms of academic writing, in terms of using library skills, and additional supports are there. So that's really important for you to know. But it's not all about study, it's not all about work, and there's lots of clubs and societies here. And again, we encourage our top graduate population to engage with the life in UCD. There's 130 sports clubs and societies, I'm reliably informed, and 4,000 on-campus events. And even as I was prepping for this webinar this morning, there's an activity going on outside. There's some sort of concert being planned and so on and so forth. So it's a hive of activity, a really interesting place to be, a lovely spirit on campus as well. And as I say, we encourage our undergraduate students most certainly avail of the societies and the clubs and the on-campus events, but we also encourage our top graduate students to do so also. So moving on to our next slide, Emily, thank you very much. There is, as I say, just to go back just one slide if you can, that's perfect, Emily, thank you. We also embrace the notion of equality, diversity, and inclusion. It very much is a university for everyone. We embrace the notion of equality right across the board. We embrace the notion of diversity. It's a very diverse campus. As I say, students from all sorts of backgrounds, countries, etc., etc. But we are very inclusive. It's a very fair university. It's very focused on students' rights. The student comes first. The university is built around the student. And again, we have state-of-the-art facilities for teaching and for research. Okay, thank you, Emily. Now, in terms of the School of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Systems, and as I say, some people on the call may be returning to us as previous students and some may be new, but our school is the largest and oldest School of Nursing and Midwifery in the country. We are a School of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Systems. It's the largest thought graduate offerings in the country as well. So if you join UCD in the thought graduate space, it's the largest offerings. And I'll come to those offerings in a moment and I'll talk you through them. We have state-of-the-art teaching and learning facilities. We have a beautiful building here, as you can see there on the top left-hand side. Wonderful library facilities, lovely IT supports, etc., etc. Nice dining areas and coffee shops and so on and so forth. Lovely breakout spaces. So it's a lovely place to be. It's a lovely campus to be on. And we had some visiting professors yesterday and they remarked on how beautiful the campus was. And as I say, once you join us, you have access to all of our facilities, including the pool and the gym and so on and so forth. So it's a lovely campus to be on. It's a lovely place to be. As I say, it's a research intensive school. If you join us, you'll be taught by our professors, our assistant professors and our associate professors, the vast majority educated to PhD level and beyond. And all of our faculty are involved in research at some level. So all of our teaching is based on research. It's evidence informed, evidence based, and that's really important for you to know as well. But for all of its size, and as I say, it's the largest and oldest in the country, we have 800 900 undergraduates, about 800 thought graduate students. It's very much a family though, and you will be known, you will have a named program director, you'll be well known by our professional administrative staff. So if you join UCD, School of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Systems, you're very much joining a family as such. And we have had students in the past who studied with us at undergraduate level, then progressed to master's level, then progressed to PhD, and they're now part of our faculty. And that's something that we're very proud of. This is probably the most important page that you will need. And as I say, we're going to give you a lot of information today, but in terms of our thought graduate programs, the process here is that you must do a thought graduate program before you progress to a master's program. And Deirdre will tell us a little bit more about that. But we have a wide range of thought graduate programs. But if you click on our website, this is the page that will come up once you click on thought graduate programs, okay? And then if we just move to the next slide, Emily, we offer programs in 15 different areas. And you can see here acute and critical care, advanced practice nursing, advanced health assessment, cancer nursing, children's nursing, chronic care. We'll go to the next page, CPD, that's continuing professional development. We have over 40 different programs in terms of continuing professional development. gerontological care, health professions education, leading innovation and management, mental health, midwifery. And the next one, palliative care, prescribing medicinal products, public health and community nursing, radiology and imaging nursing. So there's 15 distinct areas, but within that we offer diplomas, certificates, etc., 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 right up to master's level. So as I say, you need to click on the landing page for top graduate programs and then navigate to the tile that's of interest to you. And this is just an example in terms of children's nursing. So in children's nursing, once you click on that tile, you see that we offer graduate diplomas, higher diplomas, professional certificates, and graduate certificates. And if we just go to the next, Emily, and once you click on that, then that opens up. There's a drop-down menu, it opens up. And so, for example, in children's, we offer, in terms of graduate diplomas, a graduate diploma in critical care nursing, a graduate diploma in emergency nursing, a graduate diploma in children's cardiac care. In terms of our higher diplomas, we offer a higher diploma in nursing. In terms of professional certificates, a professional certificate in complex care for children, and for graduate certificates, a graduate certificate in children's cardiac nursing. So that's just an example of how our system works. So you navigate to the top graduate programs page, then you navigate to the tile that's of interest to you, whether it's acute care, community, palliative, children's, etc., etc. Click on that, open all, and you'll see all of the programs that we offer in that particular area, be it graduate diploma, higher diploma, professional certificate, or graduate certificate. Thank you, Emily. Now, we can't do any of this without our clinical partners, and we have excellent partnerships with some of the top hospitals in the country. And these are, to name but a few, St. Vincent's Hospital, the National Maternity Hospital, Harold's Cross, Our Lady's Hospice and Care Services, the Mater Hospital, St. John of God Hospital, CHI at Crumlin, CHI at Temple Street, the HSE and Mater Lane Academy. And for the HSE, they offer our placements for community, public health, etc., etc. These are just some of our partners. We have partners right across the country, and we work very much in partnership with our clinical partners. We put a very, very strong emphasis on clinical learning, authentic learning experiences. We've state-of-the-art clinical labs here. We have a simulation lab as well. So it's very much about the theory being important, but the theory is there to underpin the practice, and the practice is there to inform the theory. So as I say, we have excellent links with our clinical partners, excellent preceptors, mentors. We work very closely. And so the programs that we offer are at a very high level in terms of quality, from a theoretical perspective, but also from a clinical perspective. And that is very, very important for you as nurses and midwives. Okay, thank you, Emily. So as I said, that's the landing page that you need to navigate to. And if you want to take something home from my talk today, it's navigate towards that landing page. As I say, we'd be delighted to answer any questions that you have. But our School of Nursing and Midwifery and Health Systems is a very vibrant, high quality educational environment. And we would love you to join us, or love if you came back to join us. So that brings my talk to an end, Emily. Nicola is very kindly managing the Q&A function. So if you have any question there, just type it into the chat and Nicola will come back with some answers for you. Okay, so thank you very much. It was lovely to be with you today, and I'll hand you back to Emily. Thank you very much, Emily.
Thanks so much, Anne. So we have, obviously with the breadth of programs we have and the time constraints of our webinar today, we can't go into details of every single program, but we have highlighted three particular areas on the agenda today. So the first of those is going to be an overview of our leadership suite that we have, and I have a pre-recording here from Dr. Sean Paul Teeling, who unfortunately wasn't able to join us live today. He's traveling for a conference at the moment, but he was very pleased to be invited to the webinar, and he has provided the following video, which I'm going to share. So if there's any issues with sound, just let me know, Anne, but otherwise this should be coming up now shortly. Okay, and
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Sean Paul Teeling, and thanks for joining us today. I'm from the School of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Systems, and today I'm going to give you an overview of the Health Systems MSc in Leadership, Innovation and Management, our LIM pathway, and show you what makes it such a distinctive and valuable program for health systems professionals. So, if you look at this graphic here, the Leadership, Innovation and Management pathway is designed around the idea that really modern healthcare needs leaders who can apply systems thinking, um, innovation, and work collaboratively across all disciplines. And across this pathway, students have flexible entry and progression options. You can complete the full MSc over 3 years, or you could decide to take a component qualification, such as a graduate certificate or graduate diploma, and you can build towards the MSc in that case over 5 years. So the flexibility really is valuable for busy health systems professionals who may need to pace their study accordingly due to the demands of work and life commitments, obviously. Um, and again, a defining feature of the pathway is its multidisciplinary nature. Across all cohorts, we see clinicians of all professions, whether they're medicine or nursing or physiotherapy, dietetics, occupational therapists, and speech and language therapists, pharmacists. But we also have obviously managers, administrators, policy staff, analysts, estates and facilities, and support staff working and learning side by side. And it's really this mix of backgrounds that enriches the learning experience. And it reflects the complexity of the real world of healthcare that we work in and the relationships that we work in anyway. Just an overview. Now, there is a video here, but I'm not going to play the video. It is available on our website, but it gives you a bit more detail. But it's delivered part-time over 3 years, as I've said, using a blended learning model. So by blended learning, we mean predominantly it is online. However, some modules have mandatory attendance for things like workshops, student-led seminars, and creative thinking, where you would need to be there in person. But you can look at the individual modules, so it depends on the module. But predominantly it's online. Assessment is continuous with a strong emphasis on feed-forward learning, helping students to apply their learning immediately back into practice. So let's just have a little look at the modules that comprise it. So starting off with years 1 and 2, you'll be doing modules like improving process and health systems, which talks about the core concepts of quality improvement and systems thinking. Quality, patient safety and outcomes is strengthening the knowledge of patient safety methods and their application. Global health landscape and leadership broadens your thinking to international health challenges that have relevance for us here in Ireland and leadership approaches. Health system and health policy examines how systems and policies shape the delivery of healthcare. Collective leadership and effective teamwork focuses on relational leadership and the conditions that support high-performing teams. And strategy and innovation in health systems supports strategic thinking around improvement and innovation. And then in your final year, if you're doing the MSc over 3 years, you have a choice. You can either do evidence synthesis and translation, and this is really building your capacity in using evidence effectively in practice and policy. Or if you're interested in process and quality improvement or change management, you can do 2 modules which have the same credit load. So evidence synthesis and translation has 30 credits over a year, and the other 2 modules, managing process improvement and implementing a process improvement project, also bear 30 credits. So you have an option at that stage. I actually am the program director.
See it pause there for a second. So let me
Right.
just double check. I'm pretty sure now that is not the end of the presentation, but
That can always happen with technology. So there might be a little glitch there. That's the one thing that you're guaranteed with technology, it'll let you down at some period.
it does. It does appear to have done it in this case, but not to
Yeah,
worry.
not to worry.
So I'll share this with everybody who's on the recording afterwards, so you can get the full one. So I think the internet or something is just a glitch there. It doesn't want to play the rest of it. But anyway, next up in our agenda, we have an overview of our midwifery programs delivered by Dr. Denise O'Brien. So if you just give me a moment there, I'll share this with you.
Hi, My name is Denise O'Brien, and I'm delighted to give this presentation on our midwifery graduate programs in UCD. And I'm sorry that I can't be here today and had to do this pre-record, but we were already booked to do midwifery training and education on graduate programs in Spain on some of our research. So really sorry not to be there, but delighted to have the opportunity to tell you about our programs. So midwifery, as we all know, the discipline of midwifery is all about relationships, and that's really key as part of our graduate programs. Our relationship with students is really, really important to us, and your experience as a student. So we do our absolute best to provide you with the best experience in our graduate programs. So as part of that, we're aware that you need to develop key skills, shared decision making, advocating for women. That's what midwifery is all about, and their partners in maternity care that has become very fast paced and unfortunately with higher rates of interventions. And our focus in our graduate programs is to provide a suite of programs that suit you to practice in changing landscape of maternity care, with more, unfortunately, women who are higher risk and with more complications. It's not all bad. We provide a lot of normal physiological birth, and that's actually what I'm doing training on in Spain. But anyway, this is a little bit about our graduate programs. So everything is online. We have a fantastic website, and our marketing manager in the school, Emily, and the team involved have done a fantastic job. So look at the links. Everything you need is on the links, and that's our Masters in Midwifery programs, our professional certificates, and the Higher Diploma in Midwifery is also there. So do go to our school website and look at the midwifery offerings. And also, if you look, I'm the program director for the Advanced Practice in Midwifery. If you look at my link, you will see there's a YouTube link on the Advanced Practice program, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that. The other thing that we have, in addition to taught programs, we have research, and this is really, really important. It's a really important part of our programs that we offer to qualified midwives. So in terms of research, whether it's a PhD, which can be undertaken part-time or full-time, and 6 years part-time or 4 years full-time. And if you decide, no, I don't need, because you would only do a PhD if you have a real purpose for it, whether it's in education, you want to work in research, there's also the offering of a Masters by Research, which is a 2-year program. And we've had a lot of midwives undertake these programs, so there's a nice community if you want to join. In terms of, if you decide, no, I do not want to do a 6-year PhD, and I get that, we can offer you shorter programs. So this is a fantastic program. This is the Professional Certificate in Breastfeeding and Lactation. The program director is my colleague Denise McGuinness. And this program runs, it's over a year, but it's over trimester. And the purpose is to develop healthcare professionals. So it's for midwives, public health nurses, GPs. So it's interdisciplinary, and it provides a preparation program for that you can actually register as a certified lactation consultant. All the details are on this link, and any of the midwives on the call, we will share these the notes from the presentation with that link to provide you details. Click on the link and you get all the information you need. Another professional cert that we offer is the maternal critical care. And again, just to say, all our professional certs, they are finished with for this year. If you're interested, this program here will start again in January 2027. Again, this is for high-risk maternity care. We developed this specifically. We were asked by the directors of midwifery to provide a program. And again, this is interdisciplinary. Midwives, obstetricians provide the content on this program, which is very clinically focused. And again, in high demand. And all of these professional certs are offered at level 9, which is really important. For those of you that, I know our language can be a bit different, a degree level is level 8. And higher diploma level is level 8. But masters and professional certs are offered at level 9. So if you undertake these professional certs or take them as a standalone module, you will get 10 ECTs, we call them, or 10 credits, and you can keep these for then if you decide, well, you know what, now I'm ready to take on a full master's. But these can form part of it because they're options on our master's program, so you can do it like pieces of a jigsaw, take a little bite. So this program is for anyone, this maternal critical care is for anyone interested in gaining more knowledge and skills in complicated maternity care. the Advanced Practice and Midwifery program. This is the program that I'm the program director for. This is to equip midwives with the knowledge and the skills to practice at their full capability. So it's based on the capability framework. Advanced practitioners, in comparison to nursing, there's a lot less, but there's a drive, as we all know, to increase the number of advanced practitioners in nursing and midwifery because of the impact that they have. So currently, students have undertaken the program, or qualified midwives who have undertaken the program have expanded their practice in normal midwifery, developing normal midwifery services, in ultrasound, in triage, A&E, diabetes, urodynamics, but in the main, more recently, it's the development of midwifery-led services, whether it's complicated, and that's where the maternal critical care, whether it's in the community, at home providing home birth services, providing midwifery-led services. These programs that we offer, as in terms of the breastfeeding, lactation and maternal critical care, and the next one, which I'll tell you about, the examination newborn, can all be used, taken separately or as part of the program. So I developed with the help of Emily, my colleague, we developed a YouTube video, which is on my email link, or you can actually, if you Google it, just the MSc Advanced Practice, or best thing to do is go to our actual website, click the link, you can actually watch that, and it tells you all about this 2-year program that's available to all qualified midwives who meet the requirements, and for that you have to be signed off, basically, the entry requirements. There is specific entry requirements to do advanced practice. And that's a link there. If you open that up, if you go to our website and see, the link will give you all the information. This is the other Prof Cert that I was telling you about. Again, competent and advanced examination and screening of the neonate. Not specifically just if you want to be an advanced practitioner. A lot of midwives have undertaken this that are working in the postnatal wards and community midwifery. Runs from September till May. The next intake will be September 2026. And again, like the maternal critical care, theory and clinical combined. And with this, it's theory in autumn, and then 30 supervised clinical assessments, and you're signed off by your professional mentor and the program here. And it's the same maternal critical care, it's very OSCE based, and the same with breastfeeding, lactation. So they're all combination of theory and advancement in your clinical skills. That is our suite of programs. If you require any more information, please do go to the website or email me.
Okay, so that's the presentation from Dr. Denise O'Brien on our midwifery talk graduate programs. So I'm happy now that we've been joined by Dr. Deirdre O'Donnell, who's going to speak briefly on our master's dissertation module. And this is for, and I'm sure Deirdre, you will clarify, this is for the students who have completed graduate diplomas in the school already and are now looking to top up for their master's dissertation. But I will pass over now. So thanks very much, Deirdre.
Thanks, Emily, and delighted to be here today, and welcome to everybody who has joined us. So I'm going to talk you through the dissertation module and dissertation pathway for those students that are undertaking the MSc program. So this would be in stage 2 of the program. So those in stage 1 will complete advanced training in research methods, and then they come into us in stage 2, or they can come in directly, as you say, Emily, from the HDIP programs where they wish to convert those into masters, MSc masters. And we build on the prior training and research methods into this capstone dissertation module. Okay, I'm going to share my slides if that's okay, and I'll just, if you can confirm that they're sharing, and I'm just going to put them into slide view.
Yes, we can see them. Deirdre?
Great. And are they in slide view now?
Slide view now.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an overview of this module, which is really the dissertation program. And just to note that it runs over 2 trimesters. So you start in the September of the 2nd year of the MSc program, and then it is the submission date for the final thesis is in May, the following May. So the module is coordinated by myself and with Dr. Carmel Davies in the school as well. But the module is also very highly supported by the overall academic faculty members of the school, and that is through the supervision pathways or the supervision support, which comes on board in the second trimester in the January of the module program. So just a little bit of background, and the focus of this project, or this dissertation, sorry, is around evidence-based practice and policy making in healthcare. So really the dissertations are part of the evidence-based practice and policy making sphere. And I guess generally what we mean by that is, or what we mean by evidence-based practice and policy making is the clinical practice and health, that clinical practice and health policy are grounded in the best available scientific knowledge and research evidence. Which also is taken in combination with an understanding of patient or client preferences and will, as well as, of course, expertise that have been developed through professional experience. So clinical expertise and policy expertise developed through experience. So why do we support evidence-based practice and policy making? Because we know that EBP leads to the highest quality of care and best patient outcomes. It also is important for reducing healthcare costs as well as geographical variation in the delivery of care. We know that clinicians, nurses, midwives feel more empowered and satisfied in their roles when they're operating at the top of their license and with the best evidence available. And of course, our patients and clients want the best evidence supporting treatments and supporting their care planning. So this module focuses on the principles of EBP and how they apply to the context of nursing, midwifery, and health systems and policy making, which underpins health system design. The module aims to support our students to develop knowledge and skills in evidence synthesis and translating evidence into practice and policy making. So just going through kind of the overview of what we mean or how the dissertation supports EBP. So the beginning of the dissertation and the beginning of our lectures and teaching in September is really trying to get our students to think critically and reflect on their practice or policy experiences, to identify a gap in practice or a gap in policy making, or indeed to identify a translation gap where maybe best practice is known through a clinical practice guideline, but it is the gap refers to the translation of that guideline into everyday practice or everyday policy. So after that reflection phase, students are supported to formulate a structured EBP research question, either that being an efficacy question where students are asking what works. So what is a best treatment? What is best assessment? They may be asking about association, so they may want to know what likely outcomes will follow from an exposure. So my patient has been diagnosed with a particular condition. What will happen next? What can I advise them will happen next? Meaning might be more around what are the experiences of a condition or a treatment plan or a policy. And then translation is really focused around supporting implementation of best practice as evidenced in a clinical practice guideline into policy and into everyday routine practice. After that, students are then supported through to develop a structured systematic search strategy, which will support them to identify and retrieve the best available evidence to address their question. They then must apply a critical appraisal framework to that evidence or to the clinical practice guideline that they wish to translate to practice. And then finally, students are supported to really critically reflect on the evidence that they've retrieved in order to develop a plan for how to translate that evidence into policy or practice. And some of the theories that we draw on for that implementation plan will be around systems thinking, implementation science, and collaborative stakeholder engagement. So the module is delivered over two trimesters. There's 30 ECTSs associated with this module, so that equates to approximately 600 to 700 total learning hours, which are completed either via contact with the module VLE, the virtual learning environment, contact with your supervisors, and of course with lecturers and module coordinators, and there's also autonomous learning. We do use the Brightspace virtual learning environment throughout this module, and it's a very vibrant social space, but it's also a space that we use, that we really curate to support students to interact as autonomously as they can with the module and to build their learning constructively themselves, and also with support from myself and Carmel as module coordinators and from each other. So we try to cultivate an environment of peer support as well. And of course, our academic faculty who come on board in the second trimester of the program, who are a key source of support for the students. So it's a blended learning approach. We have 3 in-person lectures, so students are required to come onto UCD 3 times in each trimester, so 6 in total. And then this is also supplemented with online lectures, live online lectures, and we have 3 or 4 of these per trimester. There's also a lot of structured autonomous learning built in that's delivered through the VLE, through the Brightspace VLE. And there's worksheets embedded in that. There's pre-recorded mini lectures. There's readings, recommended readings, and as I said, discussion forums where we try to cultivate a lot of peer support within the module as well. The module is supported by a module handbook, which has guidelines for students to support their autonomous learning and to support them and how they interact with the module content, and also provides a lot of structured guidance for each of the chapters, the 5 chapters as they are being developed. As I said, academic supervision is provided in the second trimester through our academic faculty colleagues, and they are really a critical source of support for us as module coordinators, but also obviously for the students primarily. It is an evidence-informed instructional design. So we have, it is, as said, blended. So our approach to online learning is evidence-based. We really try hard to create a very vibrant social space online for this module through our VLE. So we have drop-in sessions. We do a lot of face-to-face contact via online as well. We have our discussion forums, and we have peer support through that space. It's a very structured approach to this module. So we do structure the learning on a week-to-week basis. We provide students with learning goals for each week, particularly in the first trimester as they're really developing, critically reflecting on that practice or policy gap, developing their search strategy, and the background and rationale for their research question. So it is week to week, very structured, with, as I said, weekly goals and checklists along the way for students to self-appraise their learning. And we try to keep students engaged by making this as really authentic as possible, really asking students to use their practice experience or policy experience to drive their dissertations so that they can create meaningful impact and identify findings that have meaning for them in their practice and in their professional lives. Okay, so the steps of the dissertation are roughly outlined here, as you see, through the two trimesters of the module, and are structured according to the 6 steps of evidence synthesis and translation. So assess is around assessing your clinical practice experiences and your policy experiences to really try to identify a very concrete gap that you wish to address with your dissertation. Then you're supported in developing a structured evidence-based practice research question and a systematic search strategy to identify the best sources of evidence to address that question. And that all occurs in the first trimester from September to November. Then in the second trimester, we focus on appraising. So by this stage, you have the evidence identified through your search strategy, and it's now focused on appraisal. So depending on the type of question the students might ask, that would be appraisal of empirical research evidence, looking at the integrity of that evidence. or it could be appraisal of a clinical practice guideline to ensure that it is suitable for translation to practice. Subsequent to the appraisal phase, we then move to the evaluation and application phase. And this is where we bring in lots of theories around implementation science, systems thinking, and collaborative stakeholder engagement to support students to develop a real plan for how they might impact or create change in their practice or policy worlds with the evidence that they have retrieved and appraised. The teaching and learning strategy is outlined here on this slide. We have 4 sources of support for students that we cultivate throughout the 2 trimesters. Peer support is really important, so we try to have as much small group work as possible and to build discussion forums, as I said, through the VLE. We have synchronous seminars, and this is where these are either in person or online, and they're led by the module coordinators throughout the 2 trimesters with a heavier emphasis on those in the first trimester. And then there's a self-directed learning, but that's highly structured. We give a lot of supports around that in terms of week-to-week learning goals, structures in terms of worksheets, videos that students can engage with in their own time, and recommended readings and learning activities. We also have a strong emphasis on students developing their self-appraisal skills. So we provide checklists and worksheets for students so that they can self-appraise their learning. And then we have our academic supervision as the 4th critical pillar for student learning. Assessment, I know students are always interested in knowing what the assessment for modules and dissertations are. So we have a formative assessment in the first trimester, which students really benefit from. So that's worth 10% of the overall grade. But I guess it's not necessarily about the grade. It's really about getting an opportunity early in the phases of the development of the dissertation to get some structured one-to-one feedback on students' research question, their background, and their search strategy. So that comes in November, and then in the spring there is the submission of the final dissertation. The dissertation is built on a chapter by chapter basis. There are 5 chapters of the dissertation. For each chapter, the students draft it by a particular submission deadline. They submit that to their supervisor for a very structured review and feedback. Students are then requested to act on that feedback in the development of their final chapter, which they then put together into the final dissertation. And that is the end of my presentation. And yes, I'm very happy to take any questions or follow-ups to that, Emily, and you can circulate those slides perhaps as well.
Thanks so much, Deirdre. I have one question actually that's come in.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly we'll answer it live just before we go to Fiona for the final presentation. With the research graduate programs, the question is what career opportunities are there after completing this? So presumably it is about the Masters by Research if they're mentioned in research graduate programs. I know your presentation was on the dissertation option, but I know you're quite familiar with the Masters by Research. So generally, what is it that the students would do from their Masters by Research?
It depends on what's incentivizing them to come to do their Masters by Research. So we've had students coming from clinical practice developing Masters research dissertations that have supported them in advancing their careers in terms of their specializing or advanced practice roles, etc. So that is where they want to build on their nursing careers, and research, as we know, is a really critical component of advanced practice roles. So from that perspective, it has supported professional development. We obviously also would encourage and have lots of structured supports for our research masters into the doctoral programs, into the PhD programs. And really that's important for our school. It's a huge objective for our school in terms of our future faculty development and investing in our own faculty and ongoing nursing academics and midwifery academics for the future as well. I don't know, Anne, if you have any additional points to make around the career opportunities for research masters.
Yeah, Deirdre, thank you very much. And I think you were very accurate in saying it really depends on what the students' interest is in the first instance. First of all, as Deirdre has said, a master's and developing a master's, either by research or thought master's, is about developing and deepening your expertise in a particular area. So, be that advanced practice or gerontology or diabetes or whatever it might happen to be. That's one avenue, okay? So, you can have somebody who's very clinically focused coming along, doing their master's in a particular area because they want to advance clinically in that particular area. The second option, as Deirdre has said, is somebody who does a master's, thought master's, master's by research, and then they have developed a certain set of skills around research itself. And they want to advance then in terms of researching any sort of area. So they become more generalist in a sense, and they generally advance to a PhD. And we would be advocating that, and we'd be supporting students to do that. Because if you want a career in research per se, in generic or general research, you will need a PhD at the least. So they're essentially the two major avenues. But we're always surprised every year by our students' ingenuity and what they decide to do. And people then flex and change. You know, sometimes you might have somebody doing their master's in a particular area. They might want to develop their expertise in a particular area and then decide, you know, after that, I'm really so interested in research. Now I'm going to do doctoral work, postdoctoral work, etc., etc., etc. So I just think in the current climate, there's so much ebb and flow. You can only take the next right step. So I'd say a master's at any level, a thought graduate or thought or by research, is a really a passport. And I'd look at it like that. It's a passport. So it's up to you to decide where you want to go with it. Okay, but I just would echo what Dr. Donohoe has said there. It's we'd encourage you to think long and hard. And it's sometimes difficult. I think people think, oh, what is it that I really want to do? And so it can be very difficult. You're navigating and negotiating, and sometimes we don't really know what the direction might be. But definitely a master's is the next right step. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Deirdre.
Thanks, Anne. Thanks very much, Deirdre. So without further ado, I'll pass on to our last presentation from Fiona Lynch, who is our operations manager here in the school. And Fiona's just going to give you an overview about the application process to UCD. And if you've any questions about that, we've been answering some questions in the Q&A function. We'll continue to do that until the end of the webinar. So do feel free to continue asking questions there. Thanks very much, Fiona.
Thanks so much, Emily. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, great.
Yes.
So I'm just going to share my presentation. I think it's up now. Can everyone see it? Yeah.
Yes, Fiona.
Great. So what I can do, so I'm Fiona Lynch. I'm the Program and Operations Manager here in the School of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Systems. I work closely with the administration team on assisting you throughout your academic journey. So everything from applications to graduation, we help you with. So what I'm going to do is talk you through the application process and how to find the information. So I'm just going to see if I can, for some reason, my screen is now frozen. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Sorry, now it's working again. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two different ways to get into our different programs. So as Anne has shown you before, if you go on to our UCD website, which is ucd.ie/NMHS, all of our list of programs is available there. So for the purpose of today, I'm going to talk you through one of our cancer nursing programs, which is the graduate cert in breast care nursing. And all of our programs have a major code all beginning with X. So you're going to see lots of different major codes throughout your journey when you're looking for different programs here. Another way to find a program that you may be interested in and you're not exactly sure where to look, if you go onto the UCD course catalogue and you just enter a keyword, then you can search for a specific word that you're looking for and it'll generate then all the list of programs in that relevant area. So we're going to focus on the graduate cert cancer nursing. So this is the landing page that you get to if you're interested in this program. On this page, it has all the different information about the modules you'll take, where it can bring you in your career, and there's also a button for contact us. So if you have any questions at all or you don't understand, if something's missing on the page, please contact us and we'll get back to you. Then how to apply. So if you click on the apply button, it'll bring you to Salesforce. It'll bring you to this login, which Salesforce is our application system. So if you've never applied to study in UCD before, click on the create account and follow the instructions shown to you on screen and by email. Once your account has been created, you will receive an email from our UCD IT services with your login credentials. To continue with your application, you should click on Continue Hyperlink embedded in your email, and that will bring you to the application. If you already have an existing UCD account, you just log in using your UCD email or your UCD login details. So what it'll do, once you're logged into the account, you'll see the application form for the program that you've selected. So what you will see is a list of required application tasks. In order to you have to complete each task that's required in order to actually submit your application. So even if you feel it's not applicable to you, say for example, the English language requirement, you still must click into this application and click yes or no. And you must do this for all the required tasks. Otherwise, you will not be able to complete your application and submit it. So what you will see is when you've completed a task, you'll see a tick and the box will be green and you will see that it's completed. So you'll have to do this for each of the required tasks. There will be an area where you have to upload files. So you can upload up to 5 megabytes. And then if you have any additional files after that, once you've completed that step, you can't actually go back into a completed section. So if you have extra files, you go into additional files and then you upload them there. So what you'll see here is the number of required tasks completed. When this taskbar is completely full, that will mean you've submitted everything that you need to in order to fully submit your application. This is another view of it. So what you'll see here is complete, and that will be when all of the green boxes are ticked. Then you can submit. Then it will be under review and the decision about your application will be pending. And then you'll get notification, hopefully, that your application was successful. And that's kind of pretty much it, really. And we have also created a comprehensive video guide, which we will also list here in the chat box. And you can have a look at that if you encounter any issues. Hopefully you don't encounter too many issues, but sometimes it can be a little bit confusing or cumbersome. Obviously, if you haven't been to UCD before, you can also enter your college details from where you've done your undergraduate degree. And this comprehensive video gives you a lot of information about how to complete different areas if you encounter any issues. And I think that's it. So on all of our course pages, there's contact us information. There's also more information about other open days and events. And I would just like to thank you for listening, and we look forward to your application. And our team are always there to assist you if you have any questions. Thanks so much, everyone. Stop sharing now.
Thank you, Fiona. That was very efficient of you because we were just running out of time now. So we're just coming up to the hour mark. So thank you so much, Fiona. That's brilliant. So I'll hand over to Anne just for some final comments.
Okay, just so for some final comments, as Emily has just said, just to thank everybody for attending today. We're delighted to have so many people on the webinar. A particular word of thanks to Emily. Emily facilitates this session, organises this session, and does a lot of work behind the scenes. So Emily, thank you for an excellent webinar. We were all delighted to be part of it and delighted to be invited. So Emily, thank you very much. And also thank you for helping us with the technological glitches that invariably happen from time to time. So thank you, Emily. I'd also like to thank our speakers, Dr. Sean-Paul Teeling and Denise O'Brien, for their presentations, which are recorded and which will be made available to you. Please look at those recordings in detail. They're quite complex programs, but the information is presented in a very clear and linear format. So I would advise you just to review those. I'd also like to thank Dr. Deirdre O'Donnell for an excellent presentation. Dr. O'Donnell and Dr. Carmel Davies run an exceptionally well-structured master's program. And if you're thinking about a master's, and okay, I'm biased because I'm UCD, but if you're thinking about doing a master's, I can't recommend it highly enough. You were so well supported by both Deirdre and Carmel on the masters. You can develop your own area of thinking, your own area of expertise. You're supported to do that. It's very clinically based, it's very clinically relevant. Our students really enjoy it. It's a challenging educational experience, but it's a very high quality educational experience. And then the various members of faculty will support you. You'll have a named faculty member supporting you through your thesis journey. And it's very well structured, very well supported, and very well run. So thank you, Deirdre, for highlighting that for us. I'd also like to thank Fiona Lynch, our Programme Office Manager, for an excellent and albeit very comprehensive overview of the application process. I always learn something from Fiona's presentations, and again, I learned something there today in terms of the application process. It's really important that you link in as early as possible. Isn't that correct, Fiona? That start the application process as soon as possible. If you do get stuck, if there is an issue, our team are there to help you. And we have an excellent administrative professional staff, and they will advise you and guide you if there's any issue with the application process. So again, thank you, Fiona, for that. I'd also like to thank Nicola Berry, who's been working away there in the background, answering all of the questions. We get quite a high number of questions and through the Q&A function, and Nicola deals with it very effectively and very efficiently in the background. So thank you again, Nicola. So I hope I haven't left anybody out. Just to thank everybody for attending today. We are very much available for the follow-up. Look at the web page, look at the website, follow through, and then you can contact us through the various contact forms. But we're very much looking forward to welcoming you to UCD, or welcoming you back to UCD. So I now hand you back to Emily. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Anne. So just to let everyone know, we will be sending out the recording afterwards, and I will include, I know Sean-Paul Teeling's recording just cut off there just before he closed out. So I'll issue that to you again, and the slides and any kind of links and contact details which were mentioned throughout the webinar, I'll include in the email as well. So just in case you missed taking those down, I know some of our links for our course pages are not very not very friendly to try and take it down. They're quite long, so I'll try and send those to you in the email that I send. So you can expect that probably tomorrow in your inbox. So anyone who's registered. So just to say thank you very much, everybody. And we're just coming up to the hour mark now. So without further ado, I will close the webinar. And if anyone is interested in attending here on campus to have a look around, you're more than welcome to do so. There will be a postgraduate UCD open day in February next year, and that will be advertised online. You can Google it as well. So if anybody fancies like coming onto campus just to have a look around the place, you are more than welcome to do that. There'll be some tours and various different talks, and we will have a stand in O'Reilly Hall here on campus to speak to you face to face. But yeah, that's it. So have a great afternoon, everybody, and we've left you just in time to go now and get some lunch, well-deserved lunch. All right, thank you, everybody. Bye.